We're live.
Okay, excellent. So good morning. I'm calling the Coastal Permit Administrator hearing to order. It is 10 o'clock on August 22nd, 2024. I'm Julia Krog, your Coastal Permit Administrator today. So first off, can I get a determination of legal notice?
Legal notice has been determined on each matter on the agenda.
Okay, great, thank you. So moving into the regular calendar in case 3A, we have project CDP 2018-0003 for Larry and Abby Colbert, and our staff planner is Matt Goins. And may I please have your presentation?
Yes, you may. Thank you, Administrator. Project Planner Matt Goins. This project is located in the rural residential zoning designation. For the most part, it complies with the zoning regulations pertaining to the property and fences. It does comply with the LCP, just portions of the zoning it doesn't quite comply with at the moment. There's an issue with the fence. So it may have already been addressed. Abby might have lowered it already, I'm not sure. The height limit of the fence is, in portions, it goes above 8 feet, which is the maximum height limit. The project is out of compliance for that purpose. It should be noted that this fence has been there for 6 years, so if any determination was to be made, as far as biological surveys and detrimental things that could happen to the property, if the fence was for some reason to be determined to be a detriment or needed to be removed, it would probably be more detrimental to have it removed at this stage than just to leave it and permit, just have it come down to the 8-foot height limit and just leave it as is. Staff would also like to note that in the staff report, staff mentions that the fence is over 3.5 feet in the front yard, but further research that was conducted showed that the fence is not actually in the front yard setback at all, and nor does it encroach on any easement rights or right-of-ways or road easements to the neighboring properties or Pelican Way. And that can be seen on the site plan that you have right there. You can see that there's an easement that goes from right here to here. That's the Sweets easement, and then here's their property line actually goes to the center line of Pelican Way, and that fence is well beyond 30-40 feet from just the edge of the easement, let alone the center of the easement. So it's well outside of that. Other than that, other than the height limit, that's the only thing that really needs to be addressed is the overall height limit of it. And so with that, staff finds that this project is consistent with the findings as stated in the staff report, and with adherence to the conditions of approval, staff recommends approval of the project. And I'm available for any questions.
Thank you. I don't have any questions at this point, but I believe we do have the applicant available online. So we'll bring over, we have an Abby Colbert. So Abby, this is your opportunity. If you have any comments for this item or any concerns about the conditions of approval, and please just state your name for the record.
Hello, Abby Colbert. And the 8-foot height, there's a few feet where the fence is over 8 feet, and that will be cut off by before the inspector comes. And we've paid for a building permit, we've paid the fish and game fees, we paid for engineering, we paid for a botanical survey. I don't want to have to repay for any of that or find out we have any new permits that we have to get.
Okay, well, thank you for your comments. Is there anything additional you want to add at this time?
Yes, one more thing. The entire reason why we wanted to change the wire fencing to an opaque fencing is because the property owner to our south has stated that he is in favor of vacation rentals. And the other neighbors to his east, there's 11 parcels to his east that were part of 3 separate subdivisions that have CCNRs. They changed their CCNRs to prohibit vacation rentals, but he would not. And we're concerned that at some point in time, there'll be a vacation rental over there, which is very close to our house. And it's very upsetting to us that if our property was in the inland zoning code and we were on a private shared road, that it's required that the applicant obtain a coastal development use permit. But in the coastal zoning, all the applicant has to do is to apply for a $35 permit. And the neighbors can't say anything. So we wouldn't even have this opaque fence were it not for the vacation rental issue. And that's it.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for your comments. I'm going to go ahead now and open the public hearing and see if we have any members of the public who wish to speak on this item. We have no members of the public in the room, so if there's any other members of the public on Zoom that wish to speak on this item, please use the raise hand feature. And I am not seeing any hands raised, so I'll bring it back to the coastal permit administrator. So the only thing that I'm just responding to the comments from the applicant, I think Ms. Colbert, you'll work with your project planner, Matt Goins, to really look at if any additional payment is required for the Fish and Game filing fee, which is one of the conditions of approval on here. That's something that you'll work with him on. There is the pathway where you can apply for a no effect determination with the California Department of Fish and Wildlife, but we would need to see a formal approval of that before any appeal periods have concluded for this project. So just work with Matt on that. It sounds like if you've submitted your building permit that you're on your pathway to getting that all resolved. So I think with that, I'm going to go ahead and approve the project and adopt the negative declaration prepared for this project and approve it subject to the findings, including the supplemental findings and the conditions of approval as recommended by staff within the staff report. And so with that, there's two appeal periods associated with this project. The first is 10 calendar days with the Board of Supervisors, followed by 10 business days with the California Coastal Commission. So roughly about 30 days from now, you'll be able to have the building permit signed off and be able to call for that inspection. So, okay, great, thank you. Okay, moving on to case item 3B. This is Coastal Development Permit 2024-0010. Sorry, got confused with all my zeros. For Thomas and Suzanne Ottoboni and staff planner Shelby Miller. May I have your presentation, please?
Sure. Thank you, CPA project planner Shelby Miller here. The project requests a standard coastal development permit to remove an existing driveway, construct a new driveway encroachment, a detached 1,041 square foot garage that includes a workshop and an exercise room, replace the roof of the existing single-family residence, and replace existing garage door with a wall and 3 windows and siding to match existing materials and paint. And the existing driveway that is going to be disestablished will be replaced with landscaping, and the project has been approved by the Irish Beach Architectural Design Committee. The subject parcel is located in the coastal zone 3.5 miles north of the Manchester Town Center on Irish Beach Road, just west of the intersection of Irish Beach Road and State Route 1, located at 15,220 Irish Beach Drive in Manchester. And as detailed in the staff report, the project request complies with the applicable general plan and zoning designation of suburban residential. The application included a geological investigation and a biological survey with a reduced buffer analysis, and all mitigation measures from each survey have been included as conditions of approval. The project was referred out on March 4th and again on May 24th following a change in the project scope. The California Department of Fish and Wildlife recommended several items, including Item 1, the landowner installs symbolic fencing to the west of the bluff edge to prevent encroachment into the Point Arena mountain beaver habitat. The fencing should be low and wildlife friendly. Item 2 is to plant native species that are appropriate to the natural community within the coyote brush dominant vegetation and within the 100-foot buffer of the Point Arena mountain beaver habitat. And the landowner should utilize the species list that was provided by the biologist when coastal planning. This plant list is also attached to the staff report packet. Item 3 is remove invasive species and target non-native invasive species for removal. And item 4 is to record a deed restriction to ensure that the Point Arena mountain beaver habitat is not encroached upon and to limit development, limit future development outside of the building envelope. The Department of Fish and Wildlife and the California Coastal Commission accepted the reduced buffer analysis following the incorporation of these recommendations as conditions of approval. In addition, on April 10th, 2024, the project was presented at the Archaeological Commission, in which the Commission did not require further archaeological surveys and requested that the discovery clause should be incorporated into the conditions of approval. An initial study for the proposed project was completed by staff in accordance with the California Environmental Quality Act. County staff found that the project described will not have significant adverse impacts on the environment, provided that mitigation measures identified in the initial study and biological study and geologic investigation are included as conditions of approval for the project, and a mitigated negative declaration is proposed. As of today, August 22nd, 2024, there has been one public comment which stated verbatim, "This is in reference to case CDP_2024-0010, Thomas and Susan Ottoboni. We own the adjacent property. We believe the changes to their property being adjudicated will benefit the neighborhood and should be approved. The modifications will enhance their property and will have a positive impact on surrounding properties. Staff is recommending approval of CDP_2024-0010 in accordance with the findings and subject to the conditions of approval contained in the staff report." Thank you, CPA.
Okay, thank you. And it looks like we do have a representative of the application on the line. So I'm going to go ahead and bring over Tom Ottoboni. Please just unmute yourself and state your name for the record. And this is your opportunity if you have any comments or concerns with any of the recommendations or conditions as proposed by staff.
Hi, this is Tom Ottoboni, and I'm here with my wife.
Sue Ottoboni.
I don't have any questions.
No, we're just excited and hoping that we can get this approved so that we can get our cars out of our driveway, and so the neighborhood doesn't have to look at the cars and we don't have any more mice getting in our cars, and protecting them from the salt air also. And that's all I have to say.
And I wanted to thank Ms. Miller for all her work on this. It was a lot of back and forth.
Yeah.
We changed things on her on the way.
With the roof.
With the roof, we had a little roof leak and added that on there.
Okay, excellent. Well, thank you for your comments. Now I'm going to open the public hearing and see if we have any members of the public who wish to speak on this item. Seeing no other attendees on Zoom and no members of the public in the room, I'm going to go ahead and close the public hearing. Thank you for noting the one comment letter that was submitted in support of the project. So I'll bring it back to the Coastal Permit Administrator, and the only item that I have in the conditions is I didn't see the condition language just about paying that Fish and Game filing fee. I don't know if it starts on CPA 14, the conditions. So I don't, or sorry, that's the end of it. CPA 10 starts the conditions. So So I don't know if I just missed it, otherwise I would, we'll need to add that condition on there. And so for the applicants, this is a requirement under the California Environmental Quality Act. So the mitigated negative declaration that Ms. Miller prepared, there's a requirement as part of going through that CEQA analysis to pay what's known as a fish and wildlife, essentially, mitigation fee. So it's a standard requirement. So that condition is one that I will be wanting to add to the project. Is it in there?
I don't think it is, no.
Did I miss it? Okay. 'Cause there's a lot of conditions, so I don't
There
know if
are,
I
yeah.
missed it. Okay. So that would be the one condition that would need to be added, and so that's a fish and game filing fee. I believe the fee right now is just a little under $3,000. It's $2,966.75. So there is, I think if you heard for the prior item, there is the ability to apply for a no effect determination with the California Department of Fish and Wildlife. But you would need to go through that process with them and then submit to us any documentation if they do approve a no effect determination. Do you guys did Tom or Susan, do you have any questions on that?
No,
Okay.
That's fine.
we understand that.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, excellent. So that'll be added condition 36. And that will just state that this entitlement does not become effective or operative, and no work shall be commenced under this entitlement until the fish and wildlife filing fees required or authorized by section 711.4 of the Fish and Game Code are submitted to the department. And then said fee of $2,966.75 shall be made payable to the Mendocino County Clerk and submitted to the department within 5 days of the end of any appeal period. Any waiver of the fee shall be on a form issued by the Department of Fish and Wildlife upon their finding that the project has no effect on the environment. And then that ends the item will end with failure to pay this fee by the specified deadline shall result in the entitlement becoming null and void. The applicant has the sole responsibility to ensure timely compliance with this condition. So, okay, I think that's the one additional condition that I think needs to be added. Otherwise, I've reviewed the staff report and the detailed analysis. There's a lot of issues going on with the project, it seems. But it looks like everything's been addressed and mitigated accordingly. So with that, I will adopt the mitigated negative declaration and approve the project subject to the findings contained within the staff report, also acknowledging the memo that was prepared by staff with a minor correction. And then the conditions as written in the staff report with the addition of condition 36 regarding the fish and game filing fee. So Mr. and Mrs. Ottoboni, this project again will have two appeal periods. The first is 10 calendar days with the local Board of Supervisors, followed by 10 business days with the California Coastal Commission, and then you would have an effective permit that you'd be able to make use of. So, all right, so having no other items on the regular calendar, we'll move to matters from staff. Are there any matters from staff today? Okay. Are there, under item 5, are there any matters from the public? The Coastal Permit Administrator welcomes participation in meetings. This item is limited to matters under the jurisdiction of the Coastal Permit Administrator, which are not on the posted agenda, and items which have not already been considered by the Coastal Permit Administrator. No action will be taken. Do we have any members of the public wishing to speak under this? And you can indicate that by raising your hand. I'm seeing no members of the public in the room and none on Zoom. So with that, I will adjourn the Coastal Permit Administrator meeting at 10:19 a.m.